Welcome back. You know Mondo Guerra as one of the designers on season 8 of Fashion Runway. Now, I hope y'all are ready in your threads and looking good around Portland, okay? Because we loved his style on TV, but now you can see the threads in real life at this year's FashionXT Runway show this Saturday. So Nicole DeCosta sat down with Mondo to see if he would spill the beans on what we can get from his collection this year. And all I got to say is cross your fingers.
We've gotten to know kind of your bold prints and
Mhm.
modern cuts through the years, but what are we going to see on Saturday?
So this one's a little different for me. There's definitely going to be a lot of color, a lot of pattern mixing, a lot of texture. But I was, in my studio in Brooklyn looking around and recognizing that I have so many fabrics that are just offcuts and from old projects. So I'm really focusing on upcycling and turning them into new textiles. So there's a lot of layering, a lot of underlining, creating these new textiles that are very, I guess, for lack of a better word, experimental. So I'm excited. I'm in the process right now where I'm like, is it cute or is it ugly? And is that okay? Is that an okay thing? Like why
Right.
not? So I mean, there's some cute dogs that are like really ugly. So I think clothes can do that too.
Well, sometimes mixing those patterns and colors
Mhm.
that you wouldn't usually expect, that's what makes the outfit, right? Like your purse doesn't have to match your shoes like 20 years
Right.
ago. I mean, like let's
Yeah,
make it fun.
I mean, I definitely think that's food for thought. I think when you get up in the morning, you set the tone for the day. And for me personally, I love feeling comfortable and confident in myself by really feeling like I should wear color or mixing prints. And I think a lot of people might be afraid to, mix prints or wear color, be bold, but like I I dare you to go out there and do that because like you wear it one day, you get the reaction from people and it feels really good.
Yes, it's like whenever I wear hot pink or a bright yellow, it really does set the tone and it brings smiles. So today in my all black, what can I do here in Portland? It's a little gray day today.
Yes.
That's so funny. But speaking of the fabrics and the cuts coming
Mhm.
together, the Mondo Fit shirt, I was looking at
Mhm.
this on your website. Tell us about these cool shirts.
So they're all like one of a kind shirts. They're also upcycled old dress shirts that take a lot of different trims and patches, and I spray on them. They're just called the Mondo Fit shirts, the gallery shirts, because uh, to me they're like a little piece of art. If you go onto the website, you'll see they're sold out. They're all sold out, but there's some new stuff launching today actually on my website, which will be fun, and it's straight off the runway from my last collection last year that I showed at FashionNXT, and so I'm very excited about that.
Yes, and Fashion Next. I mean, so fun. What are you looking forward to most seeing this year? I know that you're going to see a bunch of your buddies again.
Yes, I love coming back to Fashion Next. It's like one of my favorite events. I think this is my fifth or sixth year I've done it. So
That's
I'm a veteran. I wouldn't say I'm a pro, but I've been there a couple times.
that's
I just like the production. I love the backstage crew from the hair to the makeup. I love the models. I love, the attention to detail. The venue is going to be great. Do you
yes.
know you know about the venue, right?
Yes, everyone's talking about the venue. I mean, from the outside to just where the runway is gonna be, it's
Mhm.
gonna feel like we're in some European, like,
Yes.
museum or something. It's gonna be cool.
Yes, I'm very excited about the runway this year. I'm not gonna like spill the beans, but it's gonna be very exciting.
Yes, and of course, your art intersects with your advocacy work.
Mhm.
So, for folks in Portland that don't know about your
Mhm.
journey, what would you like them to understand about some of maybe the bigger meanings behind your art?
So, I had the great pleasure of being on Project Runway season 8. On that season, I came out as HIV positive through a challenge where I designed a textile print that's now known as the positivity print. It's really become a huge part of me. And people recognize this print, which is crazy. In my wildest dreams, I never thought that something that was so difficult for me to live with for such a long time and something that I was in denial of would become something that has comforted me and really pushed me to continue a conversation about HIV/AIDS. And so I'm very, very, very fortunate to not only be more active and engaging in the HIV AIDS community, but also bringing that conversation back on the table. Because right now I feel like in 2023, it's 40 years later since the first time we had like diagnosis of AIDS. I mean, we didn't even know that's what it was back in 1982, 83. So I feel like there's definitely a generational gap with younger people versus those people that dealt with the disease back in the 80s. So I really feel like that is very, very important. And I think, it's important to say that if you have the chance to, and if you don't know a lot of information about HIV/AIDS, or you don't know how to start the conversation, there's a lot of resources here in Portland that you can visit and just, get some information, maybe look up how you can volunteer and get involved.
Yes, and I mean, the work you've done on that front, just so tremendous, and of course, speaking about it on such a national platform, just the bravery and just with such, grace, and so, yeah, that's so great that some of those patterns and, it's being recognized, and, just congrats on all your work on that front, it's so
Thank you.
important. Yeah, so Saturday, 8 p.m., okay, what's gonna happen? Da, 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 I mean,
Uh,
what can we look
well,
forward to?
oh my gosh. Well, one of the producers texted me last night, asked me for my music. I said, "You're not going to get it until Friday. I'm sorry." Because it's like, for me, this is a very personal collection. It's about the time where I spent with my grandparents living in their house to go to an art school. So I had to like be in the district. So I lived with my grandparents. And
Mhm.
so that was, as a high schooler, that was different for me. But I found myself really trying to figure out who I was as a person and trying to figure out what my identity was, who I wanted to present myself as. And a lot of that, this is also 1996 as a senior. Okay.
Right.
So I would go into their closets, I would get their clothes, which were like, I guess, lack of a better word, older people's
Yes.
clothes, I don't know how to say it,
Yeah.
but so I'd wear it to school and like, it'd be different and I'd mix it with a lot of like different thrift finds and just anything I could find. So it was like a lot of new, a lot of old, a lot of like 70s, 80s, 90s, like whatever it was all in there. It was a mixed bag. So this is a collection really based on that period of my life. I was also like in marching band and in jazz band. I played the piano, so like I was a big music nerd, and so I really want that to influence and let the audience understand what it's all about. It's going to be confusing because it's a lot. It's a lot to take in,
Right.
and I'm very excited about how it's all going to end. But yeah, the music's not done yet, and I have to figure that out because that's a huge part of the story. So I have some on the back burner that I haven't really moved to the front yet, but we'll see what happens.
Don't forget that you can watch all the fashion live right now, or well, should I say today, because it's streaming on coin.com starting at 8 p.m. Tune in, y'all.